Listen to me carefully.
Yes.
You hire the plaintiff to drive a bus. Your defense to the towing bill is, I have insurance, and he should have told me and used my insurance. And what I'm telling you is, submit the bill to your insurance and let them pay it. And then you said to me, according to your wife, I have to be there in order to use it. Well, you couldn't be there. You couldn't be there, drive it, be a passenger, be there if he was driving the bus. Ergo, you had no insurance for towing. It was as good as having none.
No. If I was contacted that the bus broke down, I would absolutely have went there.
Listen to me. Shoulda, woulda, coulda. You had no insurance, so you have to pay this bill, $2,000. The bus had to be towed.
Your Honor, if I might, obviously that's why Andy's here. There's a reason why the bus broke down. It wasn't because the bus just broke down, hence why I paid the other previous bills that he was referring to. That's why I brought Andy, the mechanic that built the motor to begin with, went to Wisconsin, and now just happened to be the same mechanic that had to repair the bus again because the bus was driven too hard.
You have to pay the towing bill.
Does it?
$2,032. That's what you have to pay. And don't tell me you have insurance when you don't have insurance. Because that was your defense. He should not have had the bus towed because I have insurance. But you didn't have insurance. And you can't leave the bus on the side of the road. You can't.
If that's the case, Your Honor, I'd like to know if my driving it too hard was the cause for the other 3 repairs that happened along the way.
Listen to me carefully, sir.
Yes, ma'am.
You're getting your towing bill. You're not getting the cost of the job because you didn't complete the job.
Yes, ma'am.
That was your job. If I hire a surgeon to take out my appendix and he opens me up and he looks at my appendix and then he says, now it's time for the 9th hole, and leaves.
Yes.
And doesn't sew it up and then asks me, well, I opened you up, I looked at your appendix, I didn't touch it, maybe I touched it and poked it around a little bit. You don't get paid for that surgery.
Your
you were
Honor,
supposed to drive a bus from one place to another, you didn't do it.
But what if you wake up and tell the surgeon you don't want him in your stomach anymore?
I don't believe that. You see, I don't believe that. I believe you wanted to get back to where you were going. You had enough with the bus.
It was 8 days. It was
and you'd had enough with the bus. There was bad weather, and you had to stay over because there was bad weather.
I didn't have a place to stay.
That wasn't my deal.
That wasn't our deal either.
No, not my deal.
Our deal was it was going to take 4 days, and I was a driver, not a repairman. I was a driver.
What difference does it make, sir? He's not responsible for the weather. Only I'm responsible for the weather.
It had nothing to do with the weather.
Just a second. It had nothing to do with
the breakdowns. It had nothing to do with the weather.
I'm not talking breakdowns. I'm not talking breakdowns. I got stuck in a blizzard in Denver and had to stay there for 4 days stuck in the cold. That's what you wrote in your complaint. That's not his fault. That's only the fault of the weatherman and me. Anyway, he has to pay you for the cost of towing the bus. I don't know what is your counterclaim, sir. I'm prepared to give you 30 seconds on your counterclaim. You have to pay him just for the towing of the bus.
Okay, so
What?
I obviously, if I can bring up Andy, the reason the bus had to be towed was because the bus was driven too hard.
Okay,
and
stand
he's
up.
the proof.
Stand up. You're Andy, you're the mechanic.
Yes, ma'am.
When you got this bus, it was with the original owner?
Yes, ma'am.
How old was the bus?
The bus is about 29 years old.
The bus is a 30-year-old bus?
Yes.
Do you know how much Mr. Feltus paid for the bus?
Initially, what he paid for the vehicle, no.
You don't know. How much did you pay for this 30-year-old bus?
$30,000. The bus was owned by Rusty Wallace. It's a $780,000 bus, new.
I don't know, and I don't care. It's a 30-year-old vehicle.
Yes.
Okay? And when you got this 30-year-old vehicle, you had to redo the motor.
Yes, I rebuilt the engine.
You had to redo the motor because it didn't work.
Yes, ma'am.
Did you know the original owner or the subsequent owner?
I knew the original owner.
How long had you been repairing this bus for the original owner?
I rebuilt the engine. It took a couple months.
From when to when?
I was done in March, so I want to say like November.
Well, November, December, January, February, March. That would be 5 months. Don't help him. If I wanted you to do anything, I would have asked you the question.